She came home and found her boyfriend with another woman, just chilling on her sofa. He wasn't even surprised to see her and just asked if she was jealous. What he didn't know was that this was the 19th time he'd cheated, and she was finally done with him. She'd spent 3 years chasing after him, pretending to be the sweet, innocent girl he liked. She even drove away all his other admirers until he finally gave in. She remembered the first time she saw him as the lead singer of a rock band, completely capturing the whole crowd's attention. In that moment, she was totally captivated and just knew she had to have him. For years, she put up with his cheating because she couldn't get over his handsome face. But now, she felt nothing at all. He tried to pull her down onto the couch, telling her to eat him first before she ate dinner, but she just pushed him away. She told him not to kiss her because she felt dirty and said that they should break up. He was shocked. He tried to make up a lame excuse, saying the other woman's lease was up and he was just letting her stay for one night. He couldn't believe she was serious since she'd always been the one begging him not to leave. He got mad, yelling that if she couldn't handle it, then they should just break up, totally expecting her to start crying. Instead, she just turned around and walked away. As he stood there in shock, she was already on the phone with her mom. She told her mom that she'd agreed to the arranged marriage. Her mother was so excited, telling her the man had been waiting for her for 6 years. She told her mom that her boyfriend was handsome and great in bed, but he was way too much of a player to marry. She was so over him, she found his shirt with another woman's lipstick on it, threw it on the ground, and stomped on it with her heel. Her ex-boyfriend made fun of her to his friends at the club, calling her a washed-up 27-year-old. She had just walked in and found him surrounded by younger women, making fun of her just hours after they broke up. This was the last straw. What she didn't know was that her childhood sweetheart, who was now the company's new billionaire CEO, had just shown up for a visit, mainly to see her. He remembered their childhood promise to get married, but his heart sank when his assistant told him she had a boyfriend who cheated on her 18 times, and that she had forgiven him every single time. Thinking she had turned into a fool, he decided to just leave her alone. But when her coworker pointed out the handsome new boss, she saw her chance. After dealing with her cheating ex, she decided she deserved the absolute best. On the phone with her friend, she loudly announced her plan to seduce the new CEO. She brushed off her actual fiancé from the arranged marriage, saying he was probably old and ugly. But the CEO heard everything she said. He thought she was talking about him, completely forgetting their childhood promise. He was heartbroken, thinking the sweet girl he remembered had turned into a sneaky gold digger. He followed her to the club and got there just in time to see her accidentally trip and fall right into his arms. Her ex-boyfriend called right then, demanding that she come pick him up. Still in the CEO's arms, she told him she was busy and hung up while he was still making threats. The CEO, now totally convinced she was a heartless gold digger, coldly told her that if something is bad for you, you should get rid of it. Furious that she dumped him, he embarrassed her in front of his friends, daring her to walk out. He was so sure she'd come crawling back that he made a bet, counting down from 3. He bragged that she was like his little puppy and would rather die than leave him. But right as he hit 3, his friend ran in, yelling that she was outside kissing another guy. He stormed outside and found her in the new CEO's arms. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. She had always been so sweet and did whatever he wanted. What he didn't see was the little smirk on her face while she was doing it. It was all a performance just to make him jealous. Earlier at the club, she pretended to be heartbroken, crying on the CEO's shoulder about their breakup. He comforted her, telling her she was beautiful and deserved someone better. It was the perfect setup. She asked him to help her get revenge, and as he wiped her tears away, she leaned in and kissed him. That's exactly when her ex-boyfriend stormed out of the club and found them. The plan was working perfectly. The guy smugly told his ex-girlfriend that if she just said she was sorry, he'd forgive her. But just as he tried to grab her, her boss stepped in. He coldly asked the guy why his employee should have to apologize. Was it for his cheating or for him embarrassing her in front of everybody? The ex-boyfriend was furious and yelled that this was none of his business. But the boss just calmly checked his watch and reminded him that they had broken up 10 minutes ago. Then he dropped the final bomb, announcing that, as her new boyfriend, he was a lot closer to her now than the ex was. The ex-boyfriend was totally stunned. Only then did the woman put on her act, pretending to be heartbroken and begging him not to ruin her new job. She cried and promised to stay away from him forever, wishing him the best. The performance was so good that the arrogant guy actually believed she was still in love with him. His new girlfriend just watched as the woman left with her boss. Convinced she'd come crawling back, the guy told his new girl that once she cooled down, all he had to do was snap his fingers and she'd come running. In the car, the boss asked if her big emotional scene was for real. She dodged the question, saying she was just drunk and couldn't remember. After everything that happened that night, she'd lost all interest in being with a rich guy, thinking they were all the same. Later that night, the ex-boyfriend sat alone, unable to believe their relationship was over. He was so used to her being around that he called out her name for a glass of water, but was just met with silence. A flashback showed how he had taken her for granted, making her peel fruit for him while he played video games. That he finally realized she was gone for good. The boss was on a rampage, chewing out an employee and threatening to fire him if he ever handed in such a terrible proposal again. Next up was the woman, who had just been warned by her coworker that the new boss had been yelling at people all morning and hadn't approved a single plan. She walked into his office with her heart pounding, expecting the worst. She handed him her report and immediately started apologizing for everything wrong with it, begging him not to yell at her. But just a second later, the boss told her the plan was great and that he was really happy with it. The woman was completely shocked. Back outside, her coworkers couldn't believe it. They were convinced she was just seeing things from all the stress. They couldn't believe that the guy they called Iceface had actually praised somebody. Just then, the boss came out of his office. A coworker offered him a slice of cake, but he coldly said no, explaining that he never eats sweets. But when the coworker mentioned that the woman had bought the cake for everyone, he immediately changed his tune. He took the slice, saying his doctor just told him that eating sweets helps you feel good. He then thanked her personally, which left all her coworkers totally speechless. As the woman left work, she got caught in a sudden downpour and didn't have an umbrella. Just as she covered her head with her purse and made a run for it, a fancy car pulled up next to her. It was her boss, and he offered her a ride home. Once she was inside, she apologized over and over for getting his car wet, but he just handed her his jacket. This nice gesture reminded her of how her ex-boyfriend used to treat her. In a flashback, he got mad at her for calling him to come out in the rain. He blamed her for taking the only umbrella and then complained that she was getting his new car dirty. The difference was huge. Her boss not only was kind to her but also stopped to buy her a hot coffee to warm her up. She realized he was nothing like her selfish ex. Just then, her ex-boyfriend and his band showed up outside her old office where he had planned a surprise performance for her. He was sure that this big gesture would win her back. But when his bandmate pointed out a woman getting into a fancy car, he was shocked to see it was her. In a jealous rage, he ran up to the car and demanded to know what was going on. He accused her of dumping him for some rich guy, but the boss just calmly rolled down the window. He reminded the ex that they weren't together anymore and that who she decided to be with was none of his business. A guy furiously grabbed his ex-girlfriend's arm and tried to drag her away from her new man. He screamed that he couldn't stand to see her with a guy so old and ugly. The new man told her ex that she wasn't a toy for him to play games with. He pointed out that she was just caught in the rain and what she really needed was rest. He then gently got her out of her ex-boyfriend's grip and led her to his car. Back at his fancy house, he went straight to the kitchen to make her some warm ginger tea. Seeing this gentle side of him, the woman decided to test him and asked if he liked her. The man was surprised, but honestly said that he did. But this was all a trap. The woman was just pretending and planned on using him as part of a bigger revenge plot. But just as she was about to spring her trap, she suddenly changed her mind and told him they should get together. The man was totally shocked. Before he could even say anything, she walked up to him and kissed him passionately. He hesitated for a second, then kissed her back. But when she suddenly pulled away, he looked all flustered. She asked if he didn't want to keep going, and he admitted it was all happening too fast. She realized with a shock that this powerful, handsome CEO might have zero experience. He panicked and ran off, saying the ginger tea was ready. The woman realized she had hit the jackpot. She quickly posted online asking what to do when your boyfriend is too shy. In the middle of a work meeting, the woman secretly started making moves on her new boss under the table. The CEO was so shy he could barely keep himself from panicking. Later, she kept it up in his office, leaning over him while pretending to look at some papers. He tried to act professional, but he was obviously flustered. The game continued out in the main office, where she playfully touched his hand behind his back while he was talking to another employee. Realizing that being subtle wasn't working on the shy guy, the woman decided she needed to try something bigger. The CEO, totally overwhelmed by her moves, literally ran and hid from her in a stairwell. He was kicking himself for falling for her trick so easily, but then he overheard her on the phone, talking loud enough on purpose for him to hear. She complained that her boss was just playing with her and that she had agreed to go on a blind date to find someone who was serious. He listened in horror as she confirmed the time and place. Friday at 9 at the Sleepless Cafe. Meanwhile, the ex-boyfriend she dumped was drinking alone at a bar, thinking about all the happy memories they had together. As another woman tried to hit on him, he finally admitted that he was still totally in love with his ex. But then the woman dropped a bomb. She told him she heard his ex was going on a blind date tomorrow and was planning to see 8 different guys in one day. She called the woman trashy and said she wasn't good enough for him. Hearing this, the ex-boyfriend's face twisted with rage as he realized the woman he loved was about to meet someone new. What he didn't see was his ex-girlfriend perfectly handling her awful date. The guy had demanded she become his personal servant and give him a son. The woman calmly threw his demands right back at him. She insisted he give her 3 massages a day, hand over his entire paycheck, and that any kids they had would take her last name. When the guy called her ridiculous, she told him he should take a look in the mirror before making demands. Just as she was about to leave, her ex-boyfriend showed up and threw his car keys on the table. He arrogantly told her to stop throwing a fit and said that he'd forgive her and take her back. He was sure that after their breakup, she hadn't found anyone better and that he was the best she'd ever get. But she wasn't having any of it. She furiously told him that he was the one who needed to be forgiven. Just as he was about to explode, her handsome new boss appeared.